Hello everybody and welcome to our webinar on the Executive MSc Air Transport Operations and Management programme. This is a brand new programme starting in September 2019. So we're just going to provide you with some more information on this programme. This is the agenda for the webinar. So you'll firstly have an introduction to the University of West London, just giving you a bit of the key information about the university. Some of you may have heard of it before, some of you may not, so I hope that will be useful. Then I'm going to pass over to my colleague Ivan Secura, who's going to talk you through the course features of this new master's programme that we have here. You'll experience a real-time flight radar tutorial towards the end of the webinar, and then at the end there'll also be time for some questions, so please feel free at the end of the webinar to ask your questions. There's a Q&A there, so you can ask anything that you'd like to and we'll try and get those answered. My name's Helen and I work in the student recruitment team here at the university. Unfortunately, you can't see my face in the box at the moment. Hopefully you'll be able to see Ivan's. We've had some technical difficulties there, but you should be able to see Ivan when I hand over to him. Okay, so firstly, just looking at the location of the university. As I said, some of you may be familiar with it, some of you may not be. So we have a site, we have an Ealing site and a Brentford site. We also have a site in Reading for our nursing students. Our Ealing site is based at St Mary's Road. It's situated on, it's about 10 minutes walk from Ealing Broadway station, which is situated on both the Central and District line. It's around about 30 minutes from Central London, location-wise, on the tube. So not too far away. We then have our Brentford site, which is situated on, well, it's called the M4 corridor. It's situated by a lot of sort of the big corporations that you hear about. It's also around about 20-minute drive to Heathrow Airport, which for this course in particular is very important, and I'm sure will be of interest and relevance to a lot of you that are interested in this course. We also are surrounded by a lot of lovely parks, so you'll see on here the greenery, and we have the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew Royal Botanic Gardens not far away, Gunnersbury Park, Lammas Park, Ealing Studios also is across the road from our Ealing site, so if you're into your films that will be of interest to you. And we have Walpole Park. We also are connected by the Piccadilly line as well, so very accessible to Central London, also to Heathrow Airport. I've just put here some of our key stats that I'd like to go over with you. It's some of the, we're really proud of these, and it just shows sort of the increase in a lot of these figures I think is important and what to note. So we have 98% of our graduates are in employment or further study 6 months after graduating. We've climbed 46 places in the Guardian University Guide over the past 2 years, and we were ranked the 50th university nationally by the Guardian University Guide in 2019. And we have a silver award in the Teaching Excellence Framework, which I think is very important. Obviously, you want to come here and know that the teaching standard is of a high quality. So something that is of importance to us and our students at the university. And we've had a recent £150 million, over £150 million investment in new equipment and resources at the university. So if you do come here, if you do come and visit, you'll see that it's a nice sort of modern campus. A lot of our facilities are very new, so I'll let you know how you can visit us if you want to, but definitely come along and have a visit. And we were also shortlisted for the Times Higher University of the Year award last year. Okay, so before we go into the course details, just a bit of information about how you can apply for the course. So all applications to our master's programmes are made via the University of West London website. When you go on the website, you search through courses, you input the course that you're looking for, it gives you all of the information about entry requirements, course content, and there's a green Apply Now button. So you need to select that. All applications are made online, so select that and it guides you through the process. In terms of what you'll be asked to provide, you'll need to input details of the qualifications you've obtained, details of any relevant work experience you've undertaken, whether that's paid or unpaid. You'll find that for this course that will be very important. We'll go into the entry requirements later on in the webinar. Contact details of an academic or a professional referee, so you'll be asked to do that. Will be followed up with your referees so that they're able to comment on your suitability for the programme. And there's also a personal statement that forms part of the application process. The personal statement doesn't have a strict word or character limit to it. There is the option to upload a Word document, but I would say probably no longer than about a page and a half for a personal statement. I think you should be able to fit in what you're looking to say within those guidelines. Okay, and the final point for me are different ways that you can visit us. So we do hold twice weekly campus tours here at the university. On a Tuesday, they're at 11 o'clock, and on a Thursday at 2 o'clock. We also hold once a month a campus tour late. So if you're unable to visit us in the daytime, we do hold one at 6 o'clock from 6 till 7. Check our website for the dates for that one. All of our campus tours are run by our student ambassadors, so it's a great opportunity also for you to have a chat with them, get to know more about the university from a student point of view. We also have some upcoming open evenings. So the next one is on the 20th of June, and it's from 4 o'clock until 7 o'clock. And that's a really good opportunity to come have a chat with the academics, come and see the facilities, just get to know the course in a bit more detail, but hopefully this webinar will provide a lot of those details for you. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to Ivan Sikora, who's going to talk you through the details of this course. He's a lecturer here at the University in Aviation and Tourism and will be teaching on this course.
Helen, thank you so much for bringing me in, and to all of you, welcome to University of West London, Master of Science, Executive Master of Science in Air Transport Operations and Management. For everyone in aviation industry and for people continuing from their higher education, actually it's very important to grab opportunities in this dynamic and global aviation industry of ours. So in order to do that, we have created this particular course with the features that you can see at the screen of your presentation itself. We are reflecting our current and future trends in the aviation, and we'd like to bring you up to speed with what is needed in aviation itself. Just for you to understand what we are talking about, let me show you a small clip that represents of how busy aviation can be in these days. So the clip is talking about the aviation program and aviation requirements in terms of the operations and in terms of the traffic over Europe at different times of the day. So the provider of the clip is the air traffic service provider in the United Kingdom. European air traffic visualization is in front of you. As you can see here from the clip itself, aviation is not anymore just a physical environment that is actually encountering in the operations. It is more than that. This is reflected in our course. We are talking about the digital aviation. We are talking about the big data. We are talking about people who are involved in providing this type of analysis, feeding to people who are in aviation at the management positions that we are actually preparing you for in this particular course. So you can see here, aviation is a bloodline of Europe itself. It's a bloodline of world globally. So with our course being exposed to experience from people who are in the course teaching is going to be critical for you to look for the job locally or in a global market that actually is aviation itself. I have been working in my professional career in different organizations around the world, and other colleagues who are teaching here have done the same thing. So we are talking to you in terms of the academic background, but also in terms of the industry experience itself. This is reflected in our modules. Our modules are not only the modules that are taught from the books, they are modules that are actually taught from the experience, from picking from the hot issues in the aviation, bringing the guest lecturers and making the content relevant for you and for everyone who joins our program soon. So as you can see here, we are located close to this very, very light patch in London. That's a Heathrow Airport, and it's actually an advantage for us teaching and for you attending the course because we are going to interact with a number of companies who are located at Heathrow itself. And the day is over, and then it starts again. So it's a never-ending story with aviation, and hopefully with our program, you are going to be exposed to the best of aviation itself. So there is an opportunity for professionals for you also to bring up this knowledge to the next level. So we made a course with these aims that are actually in front of you. I will not go through all the details, but I want to pick up a few of them in front of you. So basically, we are talking about air transport operations and how actually we plan these and conduct. It's very important that we as a passenger face a different perspective of aviation. When you're coming behind the scenes, you're going to see about the variety of potential paths and potential professional careers in aviation itself. Even if you are in aviation at the moment, you might think of changing your career. You might think of changing your path in aviation, and our course is going to enable to do that. Also, we are going to enhance skills in critical reviewing and analyzing the air transport business. If you want to grow in your management career, if you want to grow in your path, this is opportunity for you to learn the language that is talked in boards, actually that is talked with the CEOs, chief financial officers. You are going to learn the skills how to approach these people. And finally, we are going to work on your written and verbal communication skills that are going to be required at the management level, because we are preparing you for this particular level in this course. How we go about the intake and delivery of the course itself, it's very flexible. It's actually tailored for people who are in the industry at the moment, or who are not in the industry, but they would like to finish the course is as quick as possible. So we have 2 intakes in January and September, and we have 2 types of the enrollment. We have a full-time enrollment, and also we have a part-time delivery. So basically, in terms of the full-time enrollment, we are saying that with our experience and the number of modules that we are covering, and you are going to see those modules just in a moment, it's about 12 months that is needed to cover the whole course. On the other hand, if you are a busy professional, if you would like to top up your knowledge and to bring your career to next level while working full-time, you can do your course from 12 to 48 months of a duration. So basically, these are the brackets where we are proposing your course to be completed. We have thought of people who are working full-time in aviation. For that reason, we are proposing a block delivery once a month, and especially tailored from Friday to Monday. So basically, you are investing your weekend with 2 other working days, and your particular module is delivered. As we also know that potentially you might need, especially in the beginning of the course, some further support for the people actually who are attending the course. We are proposing 1 day before the module delivery for the administrative work, consultations, touching a base with your supervisor. How to go and actually how to move in this course itself. There are different possibilities. If you are already in aviation, that's a great position, and you might actually join this course to move your position from the junior management level up. If you are actually been in operations before, that's also appreciated in this particular course. We are providing a special type of enrollment for people who are in this situation itself. From people outside aviation and the transport or travel sector, we can offer the course itself as well, provided you have completed a certain level of higher education with the outcome that is stipulated in the next slide. So, and requirements, a general requirement is to have an undergraduate honor degree at grade 2.2 or above. And we would love for you to have at least 1 year continuous employment history in the aviation. This is just, as I used to say, to protect the innocent. In terms of basically your engagement in the course is applicable from the day 1, from the day 0 when you join the course. If you haven't been in this particular type of enrollment, we provide alternative enrollments that can be either appreciating your working experience or a professional license that you have in aviation itself. One way or the other, you will have to prove that you have held these credentials for a certain amount of time, and then we are going to consider your application. So having in mind that we have put now the requirements, I just would love to see from you who are attending at the moment, where are you basically, what is your background in the industry itself? Are you in aviation or are you outside of the aviation? Helen, would you mind? Yeah. So just at your own leisure, indicate where are you at the moment in the industry. Are you in aviation or you are out of aviation industry itself? So people are indicating, yeah. We are just collecting the polls like on the Eurovision contest for the songs. We have at the moment about 20% of people who are within the aviation industry, while about 80% are outside of the aviation industry. Don't worry, those who are outside of aviation, you are very welcome to our course. As you will see from the modules in a moment, we are providing for this type of gap to bring you up on to the speed of the course itself. So let's move on. What do we offer? What are actually the structure of the course and how we go about the course itself? As I said, regardless of whether you've been in aviation or not, or regardless whether you have actually completed higher education degree or not, we are bringing you up to speed for everyone to have a fair and equal start in the course itself. So induction happens after registration to the course, and it lasts for 4 days. On the first day, we are actually introducing you to the course team, to people who are taking care of you. And on the other 3 days, we're actually bringing you up to speed about the academic study skills and the dissertation itself. Dissertation is one big chunk of your program. It's actually 60 credit hours. It's worth of 3 modules that are regularly 20 credit hours. And for that reason, we start thinking of that at the day 1, basically day 2 to 4 in your induction workshop. But the point is, we'd love for you to enjoy your education and your dissertation process. For that reason, we are bringing you up to speed immediately about dissertation itself. In addition to dissertation, we have a number of modules that actually are presented in the course itself. The design of the course has been put together to reflect current and future trends in aviation. As you have seen in this clip of the nuts, it's actually involving digital side, physical side, regulatory side, all these facets of aviation that are quite complex and complicated, and probably you don't have an idea about them while you're using aviation as a passenger. If you are in aviation already as a professional, we actually really provide a top-up. We provide a boost to your knowledge. For those who are not in aviation, of course, we are bringing, as I said, induction, and then putting you to the new complete industry of your experience. Modules. Core modules and optional modules. Each and every student has to complete a number of modules. It's a 6 modules plus dissertation. So if you can see here on this list, we have 4 core modules, and these modules have to be completed by everyone in the course. So basically, global aviation business strategy, the first thought module, commercial analysis and finance, ground service management, and flight operations management. These are core modules. Every student has to complete these modules. And then out of optional modules, there are 4, you can select 2 modules of your preference. You can make a flavor of your program itself. You can decide to go in digital aviation and maybe sustainable aviation to be more on the cutting edge of the aviation nowadays. Or if you want to go to more core side of the aviation, you can go in airport planning or aircraft and fleet analysis. One way or the other, you cannot avoid dissertation. It comes at the end. We are actually offering the support for this particular dissertation, and it has proper attention because it's, as I said, worth 3 modules in terms of the duration and the work that has to be accomplished. Well, I know that you are listening attentively on the other side, and now it's not a test time for you, but just for us to get an idea whether we have tapped into the right line of thought, talking about our optional modules, would you be able to give us some indication what type of optional modules are of interest for you? Helen is putting up the options, and you might just take a moment to indicate which optional modules you might consider joining when you enroll the course. I'll do it myself as well. Just note, you can select one option for the optional module in our particular poll. When you enroll the program, you can select 2 optional modules out of the 4 offered. Helen? Great. Interesting. Big data, artificial intelligence, drones, digital aviation. I can see a nice about 45%, 43% of interest. And then we have tie-in between airport planning and aircraft and fleet analysis. Sustainable aviation, of course, electric aircraft, and all these topics are covered in our modules. So yes, obviously we have picked the modules that are of interest for you, and we are so glad that we can offer them in our program while studying with us. To take any doubt from you, these are the schedules for the January intake and September intake when completing our program. As you can see here, we start January for January intake with induction, dissertation, workshop, as I mentioned, 4 days of duration, and then continuing in each and every month up to July with the different modules. The first module in every intake is the Global Aviation Business Strategy that talks about the general setup of aviation, and it's actually helping people who are maybe not in aviation itself to come up to speed with the topics in aviation itself. Then it progresses on January intake with the other modules. As you can see, the compulsory modules are alternated by the optional modules. So in essence, you can plan your flavor when selecting the modules itself. If you look on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a September intake. These people are actually continuing, if they enrolled in previous year, their program starting in March. So in essence, they have a January and February gap in between their formal attendance to the program itself at the university. So when we move to the other half of the year, you can see that July is actually the last month in summer then when we teach airport planning and management, and there is a gap in August. So we offer a time for you to get a breather in the program itself, and then depending on which program you are following or intake you are following, in case of January, you have a gap until November when you have flight operations and sustainable aviation delivered, while if you are taking your program from September, it's going to start with induction and global aviation business strategy, September and October. As you can see here, the plan is for us to offer you modules for each group, to offer a module that is actually available for them to study within a year of their enrollment. Finally, dissertation. Coming from industry myself, accomplishing the academic degrees, I know that the gap in between people who are professionals and those who would like to move into academic research is sometimes, it seems sometimes very wide. We are aware of that, and we have offered and we are offering you a number of support ways to complete your dissertation. It is a piece of work that actually comprises of 12,000 to 15,000 words, and it asks for about 600 hours of nominal work. It can be more, it can be less, but it is roughly an effort that is quite respectable. We support you through the whole process from the day one, literally, and we are offering you dissertation supervisor meetings while on the course, and a dedicated supervisor who is helping you to pick up the skills of research and also to widen your subject matter expertise. So don't be afraid, it's going to be okay. Dissertation is another piece of work, and is actually very, very rewarding when you accomplish this, because it's actually the best business card you can have in your professional career. So we are offering that you actually can begin the career that you want right here. And as Walt Disney said, we just have to pursue the career that you want to make with us. So what we offer in terms of the work experience and employer engagement? Well, we are aware that some of you are already employed. So there might not be a big need for you to go into this direction. But the people who are changing their industries, people who would like to grow into their employment, we actually really offer a number of potential avenues in contacting people who might offer you a job, but also in actually improving your skills in getting a job yourself. So we have a university career services. We have offering in terms of the university learning platform, so-called Blackboard, that gives you a number of very informative modules and advices on how to progress your career. Your dissertation module is very important in getting your career further, because it can actually improve your research skills that sometime come very handy in finding your next job. In addition to that, your dissertation module actually qualifies you as a researcher, and you can think of pursuing your academic career that is very rewarding as well. And that's it, more or less in terms of the delivery of the module content. We thought of maybe sharing with you something that you might be aware of, or maybe you're not. It is actually the data about the flights, and this demonstrates a number of the features that we are learning and teaching in the model itself. We are talking about the ADS-B exchange data, automatic dependent surveillance data that tracks every flight that is actually going above our heads at any moment in time. So if you want to follow my presentation, or maybe later on if you want to follow the presentation on the links that are actually available to you, you can see what's going on above our heads. And in a second, you will see now the airspace above London. And if I long here, and if I just point where we are at the moment in London, you will see that somewhere here, if I'm correct, we have aircraft flying, and this aircraft actually has its own particular identification, and this particular identification tells us what is the type of the aircraft, what is the surcharge, basically the charge of the air traffic control that has to be paid, and all of these things are covered in the module that you are going to listen with us. This is more, I would say, enthusiast view of the aviation radar data. If you want and you'd like to go into less enthusiast view, maybe more appropriate for the people who are commercially interested into the view itself. Let me just find the way through back to my presentation. I just have to go back. Just trying to find out the way. Yes, with the assistance of Helen. Thank you, Helen, so much. We have a flight radar data. I will not ask you in a poll how many of you are using flight radar, but this is actually something that you can come across in your applications for your phone, and also it is very useful to use when you are flying as a passenger. But people who are behind this data probably sometimes have been students of aviation and thought of applying this raw ADS-B data to a commercial purpose itself. Different aspects of aviation here can be checked: the delays, the monetary effect on the aviation operation, in addition to the regularity, load factors, and different aspects that are actually covered in modules that we have in our particular program that we're presenting you today. So I think from my last words would be that it is really an opportunity for you to move to the next level in aviation itself. I invite you to consider and to really enroll in this program, and the outcome for you is given. You are going to be empowered, you are going to be eligible, and you are going probably to get better chances in progressing in this exciting and appealing industry for 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ivan. I hope you all found that useful. We're just now going to turn over to some of the questions that we've got. So
every application is considered on a case-by-case basis. So please do not hesitate in actually applying. And we are going to consider the application as it is, and of course, communicate to you promptly. Yeah, thanks, Jacob, for asking. As I have said, we structure the program in terms of the compulsory or core and optional modules. The compulsory modules or core modules are considered those that are actually a backbone of the program itself, while the optional modules are giving you a flavor of particular direction. If I use an analogy that probably it's very close to everyone nowadays, you can have an iPhone or maybe Android with some skins over it. So consider the core modules as the phone, and the skin or cover are the optional modules themselves.
Hi everyone, so I'm having some technical difficulties with mine. So I think that's all we have for the questions at the moment. If you do have any more, please type them in the questions box that you can see. Otherwise, I'm just going to share some information with you about how you can get in contact with us if you'd like to. So if you have any questions about the course that haven't been answered today, or any questions about applying, then please email student.recruitment@uwl.ac.uk and we'll be happy to answer your questions, or we could forward those on to Ivan if it's anything more course specific. We are accepting applications for this course now, so please apply as soon as possible if you'd like to start in September 2019. You will be sent a recording of this webinar afterwards, so you can go back and listen to it again if you'd like to, if there's anything that you'd like to go over. But other than that, I hope that you have enjoyed the session. Thank you very much for your attendance. Here's Ivan. And yeah, we hope to see you soon. Our next postgraduate open evening is on the 20th of June. Thank you. Bye.